Hello everyone, my name is Felicia. As you might know, this is not my first video, but this is one of my newer ones. Finally, I got to do some new footage. So, my topic today is that I am guilty of using counterfeit makeup, and I've used it, I finished it, and I want to tell my story. So, let me just make it clear for you. So, this is the Naked 3 Urban Decay palette. It's an iconic thing. When it came out, it was like all over YouTube, and at the time when it was out, I was back in Moldova, and there was limited access to this kind of makeup, so it was sold all over the world. Me not traveling, or at least having access to an airport, because I never flew on a plane before, I never saw it live, so I never saw an actual Naked 3. So to be fair, now that you're looking at it, I bought this palette at a seller. It was just, you know, an outside seller with a table with makeup and stuff like that. Very old-fashioned. I've seen footage from LA with those kind of sellers of counterfeit makeup. It's quite common in East Europe as well. So I'm really sorry for kicking the tripod. I'm just getting used to the setup. The interesting part was that I saw it, I couldn't believe my eyes, I bought it, I didn't know it was counterfeit, I never saw a Naked 3 before, and I was very happy when I purchased it. It was not at the cheapest price, but it was at an oddly not very high price. I didn't really know the actual prices back then. I could have actually Googled it, but I was so not caring at the moment about it because I was very happy that I'm buying it. And I was over the moon. I was like, yes, I have the Naked 3. The only time I've encountered with an actual Naked palette was that I saw it in the shop, and it was very highly priced. But the Naked palette that I've seen, it wasn't the Naked 3 palette, and it didn't impress me much at that time, unfortunately. Which are normal kind of prices for makeup, but considering the income of the regular person in our country, it's not really worth it buying high-end makeup. So even drugstore brands like Rimmel, Bourjois, and Makeup Revolution, and other brands, they're considered kind of high-end. They're quite highly priced for the medium income of a person. And to be fair, nowadays even drugstore makeup isn't really cheap, but still, you know, there's, I'm not saying it's bad, but there is still something, you know, a lot higher than that, and it's very luxury. I mean, I'm not saying that Chanel is a luxury. Chanel is like super luxe, but even high-end makeup like Urban Decay is considered very much luxury. Not sure how is it like today, 100%. So I think things have changed a bit. I think people that buy NYX makeup in Moldova still think they're bougie ass bitches, which, you know, I'm not saying that all their stuff is affordable, but it's decently priced, and because of the economical state of the country. So, a little bit of the backstory about where I come from. To get high quality makeup back then, you had to be a professional makeup artist, or you had to have friends that sell makeup, or know someone that sell them, or at least travel every so often abroad, which I didn't. I mean, I traveled abroad to the same country. If you don't know, the geographical position of Moldova is right between Romania and Ukraine. So I've been going since I was a kid to Ukraine at the seaside because we have no access to the seaside. If you Google, I don't know, geographical maps, you can absolutely see that. So whenever we would go traveling, we would never go through duty free, and I would hear of people getting cheap stuff like high-end brands like and booze and other things that you wouldn't find in normal shops that might be considerably cheaper, but I never really been to one of all the 11 years that I was going to Ukraine. I've been to Romania a couple of times back then. I haven't been to duty free. The only couple of times I've been there, I've never seen something that would appeal to me. When I bought this thing, I didn't suspect anything. I didn't really realize, I didn't really know. I was so happy that I got it. I opened it, I looked at it, I was so like happy with me having it. I never had high-end makeup, so I never would know how it swatches. I know back then the metallic-y kind of shades only started being in trend, and so I didn't really know how it should feel, how the shimmer should feel. I had my usual drugstore makeup that I used to buy, and to be fair, even now, every single look that you would see on me, it's still made with that makeup, like even what you see today. It is what it is. So, of me not knowing, and of me not ever seeing one of these palettes in my life, I couldn't possibly know. Like, just look at it. Doesn't this look like a legit Naked 3 palette? And has all the inscriptions, has everything. I wouldn't possibly know the exact name of the and positioning of the colors in it, unless I would like do a little bit of research. And it even came, but it's brush. And to be fair, this is a brush that I still use till today. It's one of my favorite blending brushes, and it's still one of my favorites for a counterfeit brush. I wouldn't say it's a bad quality one. It's quite soft. It doesn't really shed, and the description of Naked 3 already rubbed off. You might still see some residue of the inscription. I kind of noticed that something was off when I was like, hey, I have this palette and I'm very happy that I have it, so I'm gonna, I don't know, find a tutorial with Naked 3 from one of my favorite influencers and try to recreate a look. I watched a couple of them, I recreated a couple of looks. Everything started with the fact that I started noticing that the colors were in position correctly. By the way, as comparison, I'll give you the actual Naked 3. So see them side by side now. See? The counterfeit one is a bit more cool toned, and the original one is a bit more warm toned. It's more like of a beige, and this is more like of a cool tone beige.
Well, I guess I meant mauve.
The inscription is more coppery. Ooh. It has the legitimate one that has a batch number, and even the inscription on the back has different signing. If you can, of course, notice that, like here and here. I don't have a viewfinder, so sorry if I'm not being completely clear about that. What put me off, that made me Google it, and I was kind of a dumbass because, you know, every time I watch a tutorial, but you never really take these things in consideration when the darkest shade in the pan is called Dark Heart. And by the way, the original brush is not a blending brush. Yep, mine is still packaged because I am a little freak and a fan of makeup. I have every single Naked palette, and for me they're like a little collection, a little collectible, especially for a person that didn't have access. For me, I wouldn't say it's like a big luxury, but they're like my little babies. The back pan like came off. Yeah, I'm not sure. And if you can notice, like the plastic and the fake one is more pink, and the original one is actually beige. So, as I told you, when I got the fake one, I didn't know. I used it, and I'm guilty of it. And when I realized that it was fake, I was still angry with myself, and I was kind of stupidly stubborn that I said, no, I'm not gonna throw it away. I am still gonna use it. Which is kind of a stupid decision to do, but hey ho. We regret a lot of stuff in our lives doing it. I was kind of already in my way of using it on a daily basis and not knowing about it, and I was lucky of not getting any eye infection or any other reactions. I was lucky of not getting any diseases or anything like that. I'll just show you the way it looks now. It looks completely used. I've hit pan on every single of them. You can't really know how it was positioned. It doesn't really matter at this point because this is just a counterfeit product. So even the mirror was in real glass, which I didn't notice straight away because I didn't really use this mirror. And then afterwards I noticed that, and after a while it fucking popped off, as you can see. Quality. One of the things that gave it away the most, and which I noticed in time, and I paid attention to it more when I got the original one, was that. And the name in the original was Dark Heart, and this one is fucking Black Heart. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks nothing like the one that I had. I'm very happy that I'm rid of it, and I'm started from a clean slate, and I have a second chance. You know, I know, as I said previously, I have every single Naked palette, and this one looks pretty unused and new because I just like to keep them. This was the first kind of brand of makeup. I know the MAC was really popular back then. It's kind of popular still now, but this is one of the, you know, brands that everyone was very hyped up about 5 years ago, and I just really like them. I have every single Naked palette, as I said, and I will keep buying them as long as they keep releasing them. I don't really care about the fact that people are fed up with it, because just Naked is, I think, a line that just made Urban Decay as famous as it is, and as long as they will keep releasing it, I will keep buying the Naked palette specifically. I like the quality, I like the aspect, I like the nostalgia, and it is something special to me because before I didn't have access to it and I didn't have the money to afford it. Thankfully nowadays I am in a place where I can do it, and this is one of the things that I like. Makeup has a little special place in my heart, and it's like my little baby. Thank you very much for watching and for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will never do the stupid thing of using a fake palette. Now I'm tossing this into the bin because I kept it specifically to tell this story and say my goodbyes to this little piece of shit. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe. I'll put down below the link to my Instagram account. If you want, you can follow me over there as well. You can see all my makeup looks I do, because I don't know, maybe I'll get into doing that here, but I'm not quite sure. I hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much. Bye.